Alright, we're trying to fix things with fire again. Alright Nathan, what are we doing today?
Alright, we're back on the Commodore. We have some little things to do today. As you all know, last week's episode we were kind of stumped by the diff. It's all back together now because I had to put the car back together for a wedding. So the diff is back together standard, which was quickly thrown in on a Friday
All that work
night.
that we did to pull it all apart and get it ready for the new LSD, all went back to the way it was standard.
But the next time I pull this apart on camera when we put the axles in, blindfolded mate, blindfolded. So what we're going to do is we've got to put the Panhard rod in. I did not put this in purely because, well, I wanted to do it on camera. Now, I had an issue with this end. Like during the week, I pressed that old bush out and put this bush in because this one has a steel sleeve in the middle and the end had a steel sleeve, but this slots over a pin and it didn't allow it to slot over the pin.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so I drilled out the bush and pushed this bush in. So hopefully that goes on now.
Yeah.
And then we also have the line lock to continue on with. So this is what we're installing, is a line lock. Of course, it doesn't come with everything, so we had to go and get these little short male-female adapters for the brake line. So we need to fit this in. We are putting it the wrong way. The right way is you push the brake, you hit the button, it locks the front brakes.
Yeah.
You can let go of the brake and your front brakes are locked.
Yes, it's meant for drag racing is what this is for. It's supposed to hold you in place so you can basically stall up, do what you need to do with just a finger on the trigger and then release.
Yes.
Go.
Perfect for Michael's HQ.
It would
If
be.
you haven't already watched that episode, make sure you go to the episode where we take slow cars racing. So we're going to do it so that you hit the button, it blocks off the rear brake line, so then you're only putting pressure to the front brakes. And then that way you can like whop, 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 and then you can like let off the brake and slowly whop, 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 you know, down Skid Row. So that's the plan.
Yes. The biggest thing is though, we still don't have axles, do we?
No, we still don't have axles. So we're not doing the diff today. We're just going to get the car running and driving as it is. And then when the axles come in, then we will do the diff.
Yeah, we were hoping we're going to get the axles back today. They haven't come in, so we're just going to get whatever else we can do in the meantime.
So let's just bolt this in. It's 2 bolts, I'm hoping.
Yeah, let's start with the easy job for today. That looks good too. So the Panhard rod, why are we doing it? Usually you do see an adjustable Panhard rod in like GQs, patrols, Land Cruisers, all those kinds of four-wheel drive goodnesses. Why are we doing it in this? Because it's a Camilleri car and we like Camilleri cars to be sacked in the rear as low as they can go basically. The issue is when doing that in the Commodore, because it has its Panhard rod, when it gets lower and lower and lower, the diff becomes off center. So this diff is actually, is it rubbing one side and not the other?
Yeah, so it rubs when it's loaded up with people.
Yeah, so obviously that means that the diff is moving over because this Panhard rod is set to be at standard height and it's no longer standard height. So we're putting this in so we can actually recenter the diff so that we don't have those issues, especially when we're going down Skid Row with 5 people in the car. That's the goal, that's why we're doing this. This is the Summernats pack after all. All right, let's do some work, otherwise we're never get anything done, eh?
Muscle! Spin! Don't spin! Don't you spin!
Don't do it.
Don't do it!
Don't do it. You've done this before. Turn around the other way. Did it go on easier the other side? Is it tapered? Yeah.
Lock it in, Eddie. Delicious.
Alright, well that's done. That was relatively simple and easy. Hopefully that fixes our diff issue and centers it more. We're going to leave it up to the wheel alignment shop to center this diff for us because obviously they have all the tools and technology to do it. So that's it for us really. Looks good, looks nice and shiny. all the Panhard you could ever need. Now we're going to move to doing the brake lockout. So we did a bit of thinking about it last time we were here, and we figured this is probably the best place to put the line lock. The rear brake circuit, I don't know which is this one here, this top one. And what we're thinking we do, you can see how conveniently this is placed. Line comes in, through the in, line goes out, through the out. So all we need to do basically is just splice this into the system. Actually, no, cut it out and replace and put this into the system.
Yep.
So that the line goes through it. Then we run this to a switch inside the cabin. Bob's your uncle, Mary's your aunt. And
Skids for days.
skids, easy skids for days. That's the idea here. We're trying to get make it as easy as we possibly can to do skids. And we've never played with a line lock before. We just want to see how they work. And you know what better way to do it than to do it on someone else's car.
Cut it?
People are wondering right now, why are you doing this? Experimenting.
Might as well cut the other one.
Well, I'm thinking I might leave the other one uncut for the minute just while we put this one on, just to make sure that I don't cut this one too short and then it doesn't reach.
That's true.
First things first, it's always important that you put your flare on before you do your flare. How many times have we got that wrong?
Love this beast.
Alright, so this is our brake flaring jig.
You ready?
Are you ready, kid? Oh, alright.
That's it. That's it.
That did stuff.
That's it. Yeah. So you just gotta hold it with your man mitts. So we've got a nice bubbly flare. And it looks like it is gonna seal nicely too. Can you see that?
Yeah, it looks good.
In there. And then it's gonna just...
So you might as well just do that up for the minute, like have it somewhat nipped and then I can mark out where the next one's gonna be.
Leave it like that, you reckon?
Look at that.
Perfect. I'll just leave it sitting there. Yeah, I'm gonna have to just do the old...
Do the old fingy.
Yeah. You got that texter?
So if this doesn't work, we can either just leave this in place forever, it makes no difference, and if it does work, happy days.
Yeah, exactly right. Bring our Kajigga over.
It's quite the beast. Look at it. King Chrome, when are you going to make this an all-in-one unit? Just asking for a mate.
Oh man, that's gold.
That's
That's it. Installed.
It actually looks pretty good now.
Yeah. Good spot.
Alright, so we're doing the unthinkable. We're using tech screws. Why are we using tech screws? Because we're going for a flat head so that our fuel line doesn't rub against the head of a bolt.
That top one I can do as a hex head.
You could do the top one as a hex head
Yeah.
to make life easier for yourself.
Because I'm not gonna get it in.
We are going to hex head the top one though, just because it's pretty tight.
Yeah, it's very good.
Go as high as you can. Whoa, whoa, that's way too low.
No, I gotta get it in the hole and then
Oh, I was going to
push
say
it
it's
up.
way too low.
I can't get it in there.
Wait, hang on. So can we send a drill bit in there then, even on the angle to start a hole, so you can at least get it started? So we're going to pre-drill it, and then we're going to use a wobbly bit to try and get a bolt into it.
Perfecto mondo. All right, you got that screw?
I do. I've made up a little bit of a contraption here.
Ah. Okay.
Ah.
Ah, that's big.
Yeah. All right. Now we see if we can get this to work. Watch that wobbly bit go.
Oh yeah. Oh god.
Good luck if this has to come out.
I don't know. Hey. Not bad. All the attachments.
Yeah, look. It went from quarter to 3/8 to half inch.
Look at that. Beautiful. Put a techie in the bottom, should be done.
All right, so the bottom we're going to use a button head so that it doesn't rub against our fuel lines, like the hex head would. Should we bleed brakes now
Yeah, I reckon.
before we go ahead and start like cutting holes and stuff? And
Make sure it doesn't leak in.
yeah, lock her in, Eddie. Standard.
The confidence is high that this is going to work. Shall we bleed some brakes? Well, the master cylinder still has fluid in it, so I'm just going to pump the pedals, see if I can get some fluid to the back, pressurize it, see what the hell happens.
See if it doesn't just go
Exactly right.
squirt everywhere, or... And once we've done that, we will bleed the brakes, our favourite thing in the world.
Yep.
Yep, it's leaking. Where are we leaking from?
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Where's it leaking from?
It's not leaking from our brake line, it's leaking from there. That joiner there.
Okay, so that we just need to do that up then. Alright, so we've nipped up all the fittings. Looks like it's not leaking anymore. Feels like it's okay, so all we got to do now is top it up with some fluid and bleed the rear circuit and see if we get a pedal.
Yep. And then hook up some power and whoop, whoop, whoop.
Alright, ready?
Yep.
Again, tight. God damn it. Oh.
Oh god.
Yeah, you shouldn't need to do this for brakes, eh?
No. Yeah.
Oh man. What the hell? And just break the bleeder. Do you want your bleeder? The VK, the gift that just keeps on giving. So there's our problem. That needs a bleeder head on it. And it don't. You can see how gunked up it is.
Yeah, I know. I reckon we just a bit as well, try and loosen this shit.
Can try, yeah. Alright, we're trying to fix things with fire again. It's not bad for a little torch, is it?
I know. God, that's really impressive.
I know. And if you light it up, right? Light it up, hit continuous.
Huh. Wow.
Pretty good, isn't it?
Oh, it just blocks off the airflow.
Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna go get an easy out and see if we can easily get this out. Alright, so we've got an easy out. I'm gonna try and get some grip on that. I hope this comes off, otherwise...
Looks like we're going to the brake shop.
Oh dear. I feel like I'm gonna snap the easy out. That's like locked solid. I'm gonna try hit it with some flame, but we want to get rid of the brake line because we're worried that we might actually melt the said brake line. So we'll get that out of the way and then just hit it with flame and hope that it comes out. Otherwise, Daniel, we need new brake calipers. This brake is on fire! Why is it the easy jobs are always the longest jobs? How much stress can these easy outs take? Just asking for a mate. Jesus. Now we're in trouble. So that's how much stress an easy out can take.
Oh, jeez, Rick.
I guess all we can do now is try to drill that out to just smaller than what thread's going to be, and be careful we don't go too deep.
Gonna have to drill it out now, I think.
Otherwise, the caliper's
The caliper's done.
toast anyway. If we can't get that out,
Yeah.
it's done anyway, so we might as well try to drill it out, eh?
Yeah, I reckon.
Well, we tried drilling it out again so we could get another easy out into it, and I got about that far, killed about 3 drill bits. Because the issue is that easy out snapping there was probably the worst thing because that's tool steel. It's super hard, and you're not going to drill through that. It's made out of the same stuff your drill bit's made out of. So that's made it very difficult now. That was probably the worst thing that could happen, to be honest. That bleeder is so stuck in there, it's not even funny. If you want to know why it's stuck in there, look at the quality of the brake fluid. It's just brown gunk. Looks like it hasn't been changed in years. There's even minerals in it, you can see it. Look at that, sludge. So, what does that mean? It means that caliper is probably no good to us now. That would have to come out and probably get machined out, I reckon, by someone who knows what they're doing. So we're on the hunt now for a second caliper to replace that one. We have someone try and chase that up for us. But in the meantime, what we're going to do is we're going to just wire in this solenoid so that's ready to go. And just keep moving with it basically, and then we'll come back to this at a later stage. So that's really annoying, but that's old cars here, I guess. When we bled that side bled fine, but even the bleeder on that was kind of tight, but I was able to give it a quick nip and it opened up. But brown fluid was just coming out of it, like it was terrible fluid, and then it came clear after that. So it's just this old fluid, old crap in these lines. So all right, let's get this switch wired up, figure out where we're going to put it, keep going.
That's it.
That's all we can do.
Very nice. So we've ran the wire into the cab. Michael's just finished up underneath with a plug. And what are you following? The brake line?
So I'm following the brake line up, which will then transfer across to the speedo drive of the transmission. It's not where I'd love to do it, but it's the easiest to do it. I'm just using twin core. I'm using the insulation on this so I don't have to run my own insulation because this stuff's pretty durable. It is close to the exhaust, but it should be right. If it is an issue, we'll change it, but I think it should be fine. But by doing this, it means that we're not drilling any extra holes into the body or cab or anything like that, which is, we really don't want to be going and doing that in this car. So just trying to keep it simple. I'm just following it and zip tying every 200 mil up to the cab and into the dash. Once I'm in the dash, then I can find my positive. All this thing needs is a positive signal, and I'm running my earth back to the dash as well too, so I'll earth it out there and I'll run my positive to it out there, and then run the switch in there as well. Obviously these things, they run so that they're open when there's no power. They only close when they run power, and they have a maximum of about 60 seconds that they recommend that you run it for, because they can burn out, which at first we're like, well, that doesn't sound ideal, but then we sort of thought to ourselves, if you're doing a minute-long burnout in this thing, you're doing pretty well. That's the least of your issues.
How are we going? Where are we at? We're almost up there.
We're nearly done what we're trying to get done, at least for today, because nothing else works.
Yep.
So what I've basically done is I've wired in power to the solenoid below, and also earth and everything. So that's just, I managed to find a plug, thankfully, that was not in use, which had positive and earth. So I just went straight to that. I put a fuse in line, and it runs to this little plug here. Now I'm going to put a plug onto this trigger system, and then I just plug that into there. We're running a momentary switch because this comes with the kit. This you can put around your shifter if you wanted to. Obviously for drag racing purposes probably more important, but for us we're just going to have it so it floats, and then Daniel can decide where he wants to put it, whether he wants to run it underneath his console and then maybe in through the center console. That's where I would run it. And then when you want to do your burnout and you want to do, lock out your rear brakes, you can pick it up, grab it like a trigger switch, hold it down, and then release when you want to do it. So we thought about putting in on-off switch, and we were going to put it in the dash, but we didn't really want to go cutting any holes in this dash because it is such a nice dash, and the interior is looking really good in this thing. So we figured this way he can do what he chooses. If he doesn't like this, it's super easy. All I need to do is make a new wire and put into that plug there. So it's like interchangeable. And if he doesn't want to use this, he can always just now unplug it as well too. So it works really well for that. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to put some terminals on this, plug it in, and then we test and see whether it'll work. Yeah, we have a caliper inbound. We're just waiting for it to arrive. Probably won't get to installing it today because we've got to stop work in a minute because I've got to go to work. But Nathan will install it tonight, and he will probably test it out.
If you see one fat line on our little concrete slab out the front, you'll know I've tested it.
You know that it works. I'm ready to test, Nathan.
You ready to test? We'll be really quiet. We'll see if we can hear it go.
So if I go to ignition. Woo!
Oh, wow.
I'll take that.
Go.
Ejecto Cito, cuz. Okay. That works. This is what I was talking about. We had an original plug there, I just ran that to a fuse, then that just runs up into this wire here, and then this just runs down to our solenoid.
Yep.
And if he wants to swap it out, he can simply unplug it and put it back in, and if he wants to change it to something else, we can. It's super easy. I've wired it so it has a bit of options in it. I haven't cut up anything originally.
No, we haven't cut anything.
It's actually been super easy, and obviously it works, and it won't work when there's no ignition. So
lovely day.
what more could we ask for?
Beautiful.
In all honesty, I wouldn't be surprised if he just unplugs it and never uses it until he goes to Summernats and plugs it.
Yeah,
plugs
exactly
it in
right. Yeah.
And just runs that around the floor.
Yeah, exactly.
Because honestly, that's probably what I would do.
Yeah.
You know, because you don't need this in your car all the time. And we know realistically that we don't need this to do a burnout either. It's just because it's going to make life a bit easier for it to do a burnout.
And so it doesn't cook the rear rotors, to be honest.
Yeah, and we're just curious to see how these things work because we might want to use them in another application in the future. So this is a test bed. Again, not our car. Perfect opportunity to test it.
Cool, love it.
All right, well, I reckon that's pretty much it until we have the axles. That's probably all we can do.
Yep.
All right, well, we are back. We're back on the VK. We pulled the diff apart again after we put it all back together. Well, actually, Nathan put it back together the other day. So we did it in a record time, didn't we? We smashed that out. We're almost as good as doing that as we are at getting BTRs out of the fair lane. So we have our center now. This is our Hackshop Truetrac center, 28 spline. These are pretty common. They're pretty much used in a lot of different diffs. This is the one we need apparently. We've already pressed the bearings on. We just headed over to Tyre Power then to borrow their press because we don't have one here. So thanks to the guys at Tyre Power for letting us use it. And it all went on with no issues. So bearings done, races there ready to go. Now what we need to do is we need to try and get the ring gear on. So let's try and do that and hopefully we have no issues. So I don't know whether there's offset bolts in this or not. Do you reckon there will be?
Nope.
So it's a bit of a tight fit, so we need to put a couple of bolts in so we know that we're going to get our holes lined up correctly, otherwise it's going to be a nightmare trying to turn it once it's on there.
Yeah, you just put a screwdriver there, right, and you just whack it to shift it across.
Just whack it. Cold chisel. Just get it shoulder.
That's it, yeah. It's not going to dent it. That's hardened.
It's fine. We can't do worse to this than that, you know, big power 308 there is going to do to it.
Yeah, exactly right.
When we neutral bomb it. So we're going to see how we go with this install. We have been told that we may come up to some dramas in this thing. We don't know exactly what it is. We haven't got the full info on what those dramas might be, but we are told that this may not fit without some machining. We're yet to find out whether we're going to get caught out today or whether this is going to go smoothly and we're not going to have any issues. But knowing our track record, probably going to have issues.
Yeah, buddy.
Considering this diff that should have taken us
A day
to do is taking us nearly 3 weeks. Now, we could be wrong here. In our minds, we see this as a direct bolt-in replacement item for the center. So we're kind of hoping everything works like spacing-wise and offset-wise and everything, so with no machining or any shim adjustment needs to happen. That's what happened in the fair lane, and the fair lane's been fine ever since, so you know, we're kind of hopeful that this will be the same. There's only one way to find out, and that's by stuffing it up.
Yep.
All right. Should I give it an ugga-dugga, you reckon?
Yeah.
So we're going to give it an ugga-dugga here and then we'll torque it in the car like last time, yeah?
We'll attempt to, yeah. Okay, so now what we're going to do is slap it in and let's see if these gears mesh together nicely. Yeah, buddy.
This is what we're nervous about because we're told that it shouldn't fit.
Yeah, and we were told that we will know straight away that if it doesn't fit.
Yeah.
Because the gears will not move at all, they won't spin. They'll literally just lock themselves up.
So we're about to find out if our day is going to get a lot worse.
So let's slap her in.
Let's go! It's a me!
Got the shims in?
A Mario!
Oh, yeah.
I like to do with the diff spin. I like to do with the skis.
I was warned that we don't want to break the shims. If we hold the shims out actually. This side, this side, this side, this side. Pretty sure this is not recommended. That's why it's not recommended. Alright, those shims are brittle. Yeah, right. These are the new 3-piece shims. Like the IKEA version, you build your own. Alright, let's pull it out. We'll be right back after the short break. Oh man. So, we're about to head down to Carl's Diffs to go pick up our billet axles and also purchase a new shim because we had a malfunction. The 3-piece shim isn't going to work for us. And then we realized, you know what, we should probably test the theory of what we've been told by Carl actually that this is not going to fit.
Yes.
Because he's been telling us something's going to be need machining, we're not sure what. And we found out what that is now, and we're going to show you what that is. We're going to put some blue on here, on the actual housing itself, and show you what happens when we actually sit this bad boy in and try to turn it. So Nathan, our lovely assistant right here, is going to put the gear set in.
All right.
You in?
Yep.
Right, now, if I turn this, and he's going to be careful to watch his fingers, hear that noise? You might not be able to hear it.
You can see the marks on the casing.
Alright, so now, Nath, if you pull that back out,
You can see the pinion has been walking on the case of the LSD.
walking around the tree.
Oh.
So, see those marks right there? That is not bueno.
This is exactly what Carl was explaining to me, but I just didn't understand.
Until we've actually gone to install it now.
Yes, he says you run a forward gear, and now we can clearly see why you do that. And I said to him just on the phone then, I said, can we just take the pinion out and machine down the pinion? And he said, I used to do that. He said, but it weakens the pinion and it can cause it to crack in the future and just kill the diff. So the suggestion was to run a forward gear. So we're switching it to a forward gear. We've rung him. We've said, you were right.
So that pretty much brings us to as far as we can go on this diff build, I suppose. Taking pinions out, changing gear sets is beyond our scope. There's a lot of setting up when it comes to diff to get it right to make sure you don't destroy your diff. Yeah, we could probably throw some forward gears in it, like what he's going to do, but can we set it up correctly? That's a whole other story. And diffs are the sort of thing, especially when we've already spent this amount of money on this diff, that we don't want to destroy anything and end up destroying the center or the axles or bearings or anything like that. So we're now going to pull the diff out, the entirety of it, and we're going to take it to Carl's Diffs, and he's going to help us out piecing it together, and basically he will deliver us, hopefully, the diff, everything done, and we just bolt it back in, go to Summernats, do good skids. That's the goal. I mean, look, we've learned something today. We had a crack, we tried to do it ourselves, which is what we always do, but sometimes you got to admit when you're out of your depth, and something like this is definitely out of our depth, and it's time to seek professional help. So that pinion right there is too chunky. Because Holden like to use big gears so they don't break. What if we just got a grinder with a flappy disc on it and spun that around? I'll spin it from the other side.
Oh my God.
Can you bolt them back on? Alright. Well, that's our diff in its entirety, now out of the car.
Yep.
Well, this didn't go to plan, did it? Alright, well that pretty much wraps up as much as we can do today, and for a little while now. Now that the diff is out of our hands, we don't know when we're going to be getting it back, so we're going to end this episode here, and probably this build here, because from here, we're only going to get the diff back, we're going to throw it back in, it shouldn't take us too long to throw it back in, and then we're going to go to Summernats. And that's when we're going to test out whether this Truetrac actually does do what a Truetrac is supposed to do. And line lock, so we'll probably find out more about that in the future. So unfortunately, we're really sorry that we couldn't get this one finished, but obviously it just wasn't meant to be. This car's just fought us all the way, really, so you know, it's just one of those things. But thank you for watching. I hope you've liked the episode, and I hope you've learned something as well too, because we certainly have from doing this diff build. So you know, keep that in mind. It's an unplanned learning experience, but at least we learned something from it.
Yes.
If you've liked this episode, I hope you have. Consider liking and subscribing. It really goes a long way. And to help us even further, tell a mate about us as well too. Tell them to head on over and maybe they might like to subscribe too, because it really does go a long way to helping do what we do here. If you want to support the channel even further, you can head on over to the website where you can buy a bunch of merch. And on that note, we have Hackshop Garage Fastlane t-shirts in stock at the minute, ready to be shipped out. We also have new stock of the Pro Hack t-shirts as well too. So head on over and grab one of them as well too if you've been waiting for the Pro Hacks. These are awesome, really like those ones. And if you want to support the channel even further from that, you can head on over and become a Hackshop Garage member. That gives you benefits like monthly meets that you come down to and cruises. We've had a couple of them now, they've been really good fun. Everyone seems to have a really good time. You also go into the draw to winning monthly giveaways, tools and stuff, and Hackshop merch. It also gives you discounts in the Hackshop Garage shop as well too. So anything that we can think of to give back to you guys at home to supporting us, because it really does go a long way to keeping the lights on in this place, because rent is expensive. Anyways.
What about Club Reg, Michael?
Oh, and we also do Club Reg. We can also do Club Reg for you as well too, if you're interested in Club Reg as well. Yeah, apart from that, word of the day, do we end up coming with the word of the day?
Yeah, I think snapped.
Snap
leader.
Yeah, snap shim, snap
heart.
leader, snapped axles. No, not anymore because we're going billet, hopefully. Anyway, until we see this thing at Summernats, where hopefully we get to test out this new combo and the Summernats Party Pack. We'll catch you in the next episode. You can also use it as a hammer.
I think I'm gonna get that off.
Put that in the Panhard rod. Is it Panhard or Panhard rod?
Panhard.
Panhard.
Like pan hard, like you're panning hard for gold.
Like hard.
Pan
like,
hard, so pan, frying pan.
Yeah.
And then hard, like hard solos.
like hard solos or hard style. Yeah, right. I thought it was Panhard, like at Panhard, A-R-D.
Oh, hang on. I think you're right, actually. I thought it was pan hard.
Oh, now I've got to Google it. Because, you know, I'd hate to sound like an idiot on YouTube.
No, it's pan hard.
Is it?
Yep.
Well, there you go.
Pan hard rod.
Let's just keep going.
Yep, you're just gonna have to commit. I got it. Put your mouth on that, blow it back up. We should have 5 seconds of no breakthrough. Just snorkel. Jimmy Bar.
Jimmy Ricard?
Jimmy Ricard. Jimmy Ricard.
Yeah, you know when Michael's been here, when he's dropped all the freaking insulation wire everywhere. You know I took the seats out of the Fairlane and you know how much bloody things were under it?
Yeah, you know how much wiring I've done on that car?
I don't know how that car's burnt down yet.
That's so for future generations, they know that I was once there.
Oh my god.
Oh, it was one of those days.
It's just one of those days when you don't want to wake up.
Well, we said we'd be done by lunch, it's now 3:20. So, you know, we did well.
Yeah, we did well.
I'll take the springs out, I'll do the hard job.
I'll do the hard job too.
No, I got it.
No, it's all good. I got it. I got it before you. So
Springs are out.
this is dried up.